Well, hi there, folks. Welcome to the program. This is Stinchfield, the podcast. So great to be here with you as we talk about Secretary Mayorkis. We talk about an open border. We talk about Border Patrol facing a loophole that they can't arrest illegals because the clock is ticking, that if they take them into custody, they don't have enough time to process them, so they let them sit on the side of the road in the desert in the United States, free to do whatever they want. This is the most amazing, stunning loophole I have ever seen, okay? At least one of them. And then we've got this flyer that these non-governmental organizations are pushing out to illegals, saying, when you get to the United States, vote for Joe Biden, as if it's a given that illegal aliens are going to vote. We'll show you that flyer as well. Of course, the podcast is brought to you by Midas Gold Group. We're so grateful for them. I urge you, put some money into gold now. With everything we're seeing, now is the time to be doing this. Do not wait anymore. Inflation, war on the dollar, tyrannical government, China on the move, trying to crush the U.S. economy. All reasons why you would want to put money into gold. Midas Gold Group can help you do that. All right, we're going to talk about all this stuff, including Secretary Mayorkis. Articles of impeachment have been delivered. With that, folks, let's get the show started.
Uncensored and unapologetic. This is Stinchfield. Here's your host, Grant Stinchfield.
All right, so Secretary Mayorkis has the articles of impeachment delivered against him to the United States Senate. It is about time. It is a very important moment because he has to be held accountable. Folks, I want to show you this. This is why a guy like Mayorkis needs to be held accountable. These are flyers that are being found in porta potties, being handed out to illegals that are coming up to the United States. They're being given to these illegals in Mexico by these non-governmental organizations that, in Spanish, basically says, when you get to the United States, vote for Joe Biden. We need 4 more years of Joe Biden. That's what they're handing out. Now, I put this back onto Secretary Mayorkis. I really do. The Secretary of Homeland Security is derelict in his duty. It is all by design. He needs to be impeached. He's made an end run around the law. Let's just figure out what they're doing. This Pathline to Parole, this catch and release program, it flaunts U.S. law. It flies in the face of U.S. law. He's making an end run around Congress. It's illegal. That alone is unconstitutional. He took an oath to defend the United States, clearly, with the fentanyl, with the drug dealers, with the cartels, with the illegal aliens, the gang members coming into the United States. This is not defending America. All of this is why Secretary Mayorkis needs to be impeached for basically turning his back on America. Forget about upholding his oath. So as these articles of impeachment are delivered, Senator Ted Cruz said this about why this impeachment is so important.
The stakes of this impeachment are not some technical violation of law, but rather an enormous and growing threat to the lives and safety of millions of Americans. Every year, under Joe Biden and Alejandro Mayorkis, we have seen millions of illegal aliens crossing into this country. Alejandro Mayorkis actively aided and abetting the criminal invasion of this country by criminal drug cartels and illegal aliens.
And then instituting this parole pipeline to release, offering up work permits to many of these illegals, totally flies in the face of the law. All of this is reasons for impeachment. All you have to do is look at Secretary Mayorkis when he is on the hot seat, as we call it. He was in Congress yesterday being confronted. Marjorie Taylor Greene confronted him on those flyers that I told you about. These flyers, the ones that say vote for Joe Biden. Marjorie Taylor Greene confronted Mayorkis on this. Listen to his response.
We know that you served as a former board member of this group that funds illegal immigration. And they're very proud of you, Mr. Secretary. They congratulated you on your nomination. You worked as a board member of an NGO that is working in conjunction with other NGOs, which are not only financing the invasion of the country, but also telling illegal aliens to vote in the United States elections.
So there you go. That flyer makes it into the United States Congress. Marjorie Taylor Greene putting Mayorkis on the hot seat. He was on the board of the organization that is handing out these flyers. Vote for Joe Biden. And you're telling me this invasion is not by design? It's not a Democrat vote-getting recruitment scheme? You better believe it is. The statistics all show that the higher the percentage of immigrants in a certain congressional district, tenfold, the chances are that district goes Democrat, increases by the number of illegals or immigrants you have in that congressional district. These are numbers. Now, I think times are changing in some respects, but that doesn't mean that you don't look at the law and follow the law. This is Secretary Mayorkis, again being asked by Dan Bishop about these flyers.
Congressman, individuals who are not citizens of the United States cannot vote in federal elections.
But that's not what I asked. I asked what actions DHS is taking to ensure that that doesn't occur.
Well, two things. Number one, I believe that it is state and local election officials that monitor the eligibility of individuals. We do not oversee the election enrollment process. What we do is enforce our borders and, in fact...
So said shorter, nothing.
Exactly. Nothing. So they put flyers up all over the place, the ones you see on your screen in Spanish saying, vote for Joe Biden. Homeland Security does nothing. This is why we need the SAVE Act. You may remember President Trump, Speaker Johnson introduced this last week. The SAVE Act would force you to prove you're an American citizen. Do you realize right now in America, you don't have to prove you're an American citizen to vote. You go register to vote, you check a box that says you're an American citizen, but you don't have to show your passport. You don't show a social security number. Now, you may have to show a driver's license to vote in states with voter ID laws, and we need to get more voter ID laws on the books. But you got states like California giving driver's license to illegal aliens. So what good does that do you? Doesn't do you any good. You need to be proving you're an American citizen, I believe, before you can vote. It is in the Constitution that you cannot vote in a federal election unless you're a United States citizen, and we don't even make anybody prove that. I was shocked, actually, to think, when I registered, I didn't show anything. I had to think back. How could this be? Things that seem to be common sense are no longer common sense anymore. Dan Bishop continued here with all of this. Listen.
Which was it in Mr. Ibarra's case? Humanitarian reasons or significant public benefit that you paroled him into the United States?
Congressman, we abide by...
So this is asking him directly about Laken Riley's killer, why he was released, paroled, all of these basically pathway to criminality. Laken Riley, of course, the young nursing student in Georgia, killed at the hands of this brutal illegal alien.
The law, we apply our parole processes in obeyance of the law. The public safety of the American people is our highest priority, and I would be pleased to share case details with you on any case of concern to you subsequent to this hearing. I don't have the case details with me today.
So you're telling me with all the publicity that Laken Riley got, shirts that say her name, you don't know the details behind Laken Riley, the man who was accused of killing her, how he got in the United States, how he was released again by city after city after city without ICE coming and taking him into custody? You're telling me you don't know those details? Bullcorn. That is a total flat-out lie. This is the exact reason why this man needs to be impeached. He has lied to Congress over and over and over again. I'll give you more examples of just how bad this guy is, all right, in just a minute. And then I'm going to get to my interview that I did with Anthony Aguero down on the border who will show you this loophole, this clock-ticking Border Patrol loophole that they cannot arrest illegals down there. And I'm going to show you this. It was so amazing to me. I want to show it to you in its entirety. okay? But before I do that, folks, I want to tell you about my friends over at Patriot Mobile. I have a Patriot Mobile phone. The reason I have a Patriot Mobile phone is I am making a statement to the world that says, you know what, I'm only going to support conservative companies. And when it comes to my cell phone, because there is a Christian conservative wireless provider, in fact, America's only, Patriot Mobile, I'm going to go with them. And I'm going to tell the big three that are funding all these woke causes, I'm not supporting this anymore. I'm not standing for that anymore. I'm going with Patriot Mobile. I would urge you to as well. You know, I tell you this all the time, and I know you probably think about it and you haven't done it yet. Make today the day that you actually say, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get a Patriot Mobile phone. You don't have to give up service. They use the same networks that all the big three cell phone companies use, but you get 100% U.S.-based customer service, and you get CEOs and an executive team that's literally funding conservative causes with your money, which is really great. PatriotMobile.com/grant, PatriotMobile.com/grant. Use the promo code GRANT for free activation, or just call them at 972-PATRIOT, 972-PATRIOT. Call them today. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Okay, so I told you I would play you a little bit more of Secretary Mayorkis on the hot seat. This is him being asked about Border Patrol agents, and let's listen to this.
It goes on there in the first paragraph. It says Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkis on Monday admitted to Border Patrol agents that the current rate of release for illegal immigrants apprehended at the southwest border is above 85%. Said Mayorkis made the statements when meeting privately with agents, and that there were sources in the room who heard that.
Congressman, as I mentioned to you last week, I do not recall that exchange in an internal meeting with the workforce, and let me assure you that the security of the southern border is our highest priority.
The gentleman.
Security at the southern border is your highest priority? Why do I have numbers here, folks, that show, where are they? Encounters in March, 137,000 apprehensions. Those are actual apprehensions, okay, not including the gotaways. 137,000 in March. But here's the real secret. Using the Custom and Border Protection, the CBP-1 app, between January through March, so the first quarter of 2024, they took in 547,000 illegal aliens using the CBP-1 app, and because they registered, they don't account those as illegals. All right, so they're not being included in the number. Now, you include the 137,000 a month, the 547,000 a quarter. That runs out by the end of this year. If that number stays steady, by the end of this year, we'll take in 3.5 million more illegals just this year alone. 3.5 million. I mean, this is the size of states, counties, big cities in America. I mean, that's bigger than most cities in America, 3.5 million people. But this, again, is all by design, folks. And this is going on all over the country where these illegals are coming in, and they're getting all kinds of benefits, and American citizens are getting none. Quite frankly, it is despicable to think that this is the case. So John Kennedy, as only he can, talked about what will happen with these articles of impeachment, that as we go through all this, you see why Mayorkis is being impeached. My belief is the Democrats will use their power to change Senate tradition, rules of the Senate, to instantly dismiss the impeachment proceedings. If that happens, I think that will be a very big tragedy and a travesty of what justice is all about. I understand he's not going to get convicted in the Senate, but he deserves a trial, and the American people deserve to hear the evidence presented at the trial so we can make our own decisions over what president we want to be choosing cabinet members come 2025. My choice is President Trump. I know yours is too. Here's John Kennedy.
The United States Senate cannot and should not turn a deaf ear to the democratically elected members of the United States House of Representatives by dismissing their charges against Secretary Mayorkis without a full and fair trial. Precedent demands a trial. Respect for the law, Mr. President, demands a trial.
I would think that's true, but they don't have any respect for the law. So why would you have a trial here when literally you're trying an innocent man in President Trump in New York? You've got him stuck in court for 8, maybe 12 weeks, unable to campaign. You're not trying criminals up there. You got 12 prosecutors in New York literally going after President Trump, who did nothing wrong. They concoct 34 felony charges out of one misdemeanor charge that has passed the statute of limitations that no other prosecutor's office wanted to charge. That's the show that's going on in New York, and you think the Democrat-controlled U.S. Senate is going to hold a trial on Mayorkis? There's no way this trial goes forward. You mark my words. I promise you, they will not do it. They will not do it because they're devious, and they are not for the truth. And really, that's all I'm for. Just let the truth be heard. But the American people, it's been hidden from the truth for so very long. That's the big ultimate shame of all of this, is the truth has not been heard about anything, except the mainstream media is not going to tell you the truth. You and I both know that, which is what's such an absolute tragedy through all of this. All right. I want to tell you about my friends at Midas Gold Group. Then I want to play the interview with Anthony Aguero, the segment I did over on Real America's Voice last night. I want to play it because it's worth hearing and it's worth seeing with your own eyes if you're watching on the Rumble channel or Facebook or YouTube now. Yeah, we're up on YouTube. We'll see how long that lasts, but we are up on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, I would love to hear from you. Comments. Whatever. We don't have a lot of viewers there. We're typically on YouTube, we're suppressed. Folks, the website I want you to go to is MidasGoldGroup.com. MidasGoldGroup.com. We know right now that there is a war going on the United States dollar. We know China is putting pressure on the United States dollar. We know our own government wants a digital currency. We know there is chaos in the world, the Middle East, when you have oil prices now at play. Where is a safe haven that has stood the test of time? Precious metals. There's a reason why so many gold companies advertise on so many conservative sites, because they know you know the value and importance of gold. Now, here's the question. How do you choose between a gold company when you're hammered by so many? I'm telling you, I know these guys at Midas Gold Group. They support me on every platform. I love them. I trust them. I use them myself. This is a company that you can trust. So talk to them about how much is right for you, but I urge you, don't wait. Put some of your nest egg into gold. Protect your finances that you work so hard for. MidasGoldGroup.com, MidasGoldGroup.com, 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. That's the number and website I want you to go to, MidasGoldGroup.com. Veteran-owned and good folks over there. All right, I told you I would play this interview of Anthony Aguero. In fact, I'm going to play the segment I did on Real America's Voice because it was amazing to me to hear it all laid out in such stark fashion. So this is from Real America's Voice last night. Take a listen, take a watch.
Welcome back, everyone. I think I'm going to recruit all of you to help me out with a name for what's going on the border. What do we call it? Is it a border crisis? Is it a national security disaster? I mean, it's all of these things. A border security issue, you name it. But it's bad. Just look at this video shot by our own Anthony Aguero down on the California border. This is in California. Just dozens upon dozens upon dozens of illegals camped out here, piled on top of each other. Garbage, dirt, you name it, out in the desert as they flood in the southern border of California. It has gotten really bad. Border Patrol in March, by the way, took in 137,000 apprehensions. But check this out. If you look at the CBP One app numbers, this is that app, 547,000 people in the month of March came through that. You do the math there, you're looking at 2.5 million people a year known What about the people you don't know? These numbers are insane. I want to go out to California now, from the southern border there. Real America's Voice correspondent Anthony Aguero is here. He shot this video. Anthony, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Grant.
Anthony, why California now? Are things moving west and now into California as far as the migration?
Yes, and I'm going to get right into it before they take this away from us. This is incredible what we're witnessing out here right now. You're going to see a bunch of men out here currently from Syria, Turkey, Kazakhstan, Ecuador, Bolivia, and El Salvador, all bunched up out here. And this is just one of 3 groups that are currently out here right now. And as you can see, the wall is literally right behind us, right behind me over here. This group crossed hours ago. They've been out here since 6 in the morning. And what's most concerning, Grant, is that their desperation is settling in. They don't have water. They don't have any food. And they were, as soon as I showed up earlier, they surrounded my truck asking me for food, water. And what's most concerning is that right behind us over here, you have elderly neighbors, people in their 70s, 80 years of age that purchase properties out here to retire on. And these guys are inching their way onto their property, asking for water, asking for cell phone reception or Wi-Fi, asking them if they can plug in their cell phones out here. The neighbors out here are freaked out. There are several ladies out here that live on their own, over 79 years old. And they are extremely scared of what we're witnessing. That is exactly why I'm out in front of their house right now, because these ladies
Anthony,
are super scared.
Did I see a Border Patrol truck go by as well?
Yes, sir.
And so what are they doing? What is Border Patrol doing?
Border Patrol actually came out here to check on me to see who I was. While you were doing your monologue, they came up to me and they were asking me what I was doing out here. I told them I'm a reporter. I'm out here about to do a live hit with y'all. But as you can see right behind me, there's more migrants still here arriving, and they're scattered all up and down this border, Grant. There's over 150 migrants in less than a mile and a half area right here, and they're scattered everywhere, going onto people's ranches, onto their properties.
Anthony, real quick, everyone at home is going to be asking, Border Patrol comes up to you and asks you what you're doing. Does nobody go up to these migrants? Are we not taking them into custody? I know they're releasing most of them anyway, but so they just let them sit there? What are they waiting for?
They will not take them they will not, quote unquote, apprehend them, because then their time frame starts running. They have to have released these individuals in less than 36-hour time frame. Therefore, they will allow them to roam out here as long as possible, technically not under custody, so it doesn't get held against them, so that they're not held longer than 36 hours. Out here in the California sector, they're trying to push them not to hold these people for more than 36 hours. So for their clock not to start running, they let them just roam and graze all of this.
This is insanity. And Anthony Aguero, it's such great work you're doing, because nobody's doing this. So I want to thank you. And as I say goodbye to you, Anthony, I want to bring in our next guest. But first, I want to tell everybody, please follow Anthony's work by going to his YouTube channel, Anthony Aguero Live, okay, and his Rumble channel called Border Wars. I want to bring right in, and I've got some other shocking things to talk about with J.J. Carroll. He's the author of the new book, Invaded. He, of course, is a former Border Patrol agent himself. J.J., welcome to the program, as always. Your reaction to what you're seeing right there, and Anthony spelled out they don't want to take him into custody because the clock starts running. Is this correct?
He is correct. The Border Patrol will not bring those people in, because what you don't see in the Border Patrol stations are hundreds, if not thousands, of illegal aliens jammed into processing facilities that supposed to hold hundreds. Now, what you need to understand, or I'd like you to understand, is they have a processing detention facility that holds about 2,000 people. There's minimal people in those facilities, because they're processing these illegal aliens and they're releasing them right onto the streets, or giving them to NGOs that release them onto the streets. This is insanity. Never in a million years. Look, Border Patrol has been in existence for 100 years coming in May. For 39 months of those 100 years, we never did anything like this. This is absurdity. This is also treason against the body of America. And I'll stand by that statement for the rest of my life.
What is it like for the Border Patrol agents? We saw a truck go by. Their job is to apprehend illegals coming across the border. I'm sure they're told not to because of all the reasons you spelled out. What is this like for the Border Patrol agents?
Well, I'll tell you what it's like. We have a suicide epidemic in the United States Border Patrol. You have men and women that have sworn an oath to carry a gun and a badge and put that uniform every day, and every single day they betray their oath, in which they betray their soul. And that has a profound impact. You cannot continue, our nation cannot continue on this path. The Border Patrol has been decimated. We are down about 6,000 agents from the height of 21,000. We're plummeting every day. We cannot recruit. We're giving away $35,000 signing bonus. No one's taking it up on it. And the reason why is they don't want to process and then transport people that are illegal aliens, should not be in our country, and release them onto the streets of America, knowing that many of them are prior deport felons, and terrorists and soldiers.
And think about it. They have families, too, all across the country. They know they're releasing violent people into the interior of the United States to only put people in danger. Let me show you one more piece of video before I let you go. This is a flyer that has apparently been found all over from these NGOs, these non-governmental organizations. You can go ahead and put up VO3. I'll talk about it, and we'll bring JJ back in here. This is a flyer, JJ. Let me show it to you. This is from Resource Center Matamoros, affiliated with, quote, Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, found in Mexico, telling illegal aliens to vote for Joe Biden. In English, it reads, reminder to vote for President Biden when you are in the United States. We need another 4 years of his term to stay open. Now, that is being handed out, posted in porta potties all over by these non-governmental organizations. First off, they're illegals. They're not supposed to be voting. I'm not convinced they're not voting because of what we've seen the last time around. But your thoughts on this, JJ?
My thoughts are the NGOs are the evil arm of the United States American government. They do all the dirty work. These are not vetted people, but they are paid billions with a B. The NGOs, when all this dust settles and maybe President Trump comes in and we get some normalcy, the U.S. attorneys need to turn their attention straight on these NGOs. Catholic Charities, number one. Jewish Family Services, Lutheran Family Services, billions of dollars to become smugglers and child sex traffickers. You have people that are wanted felons that are running these NGOs. They're the guys that are transporting the illegals across state lines. They're the ones giving them airline tickets, but not giving them airline tickets and pocketing the money. There is so much fraud going on, but it's the NGOs. And does it surprise you, Grant, that they want them to vote? This is the final act, is to be able to secure wealth and power in the United States.
Well, I'll tell you what, only Real America's Voice has a 1-2 punch between Anthony Aguero live with that video and then JJ, the truth that you are pushing out there. I urge everybody, tell your friends and family about this network and also JJ's book, Invaded, as well. But JJ Carroll, it's great having you on the program. Thank you for laying it out for us in such stark terms. It's sad, but thank you.
Thank you, Grant. Have a good night.
All right, so that is, of course, J.J. Carroll, former Border Patrol agent. I go back to the video that Anthony Aguero shot, though, of those migrants coming across. I mean, it's just really quite stunning to think. And they're hanging out here. It's just garbage and trash and people lying around and you name it. Just not the sight you would think for America. But we have gotten to a point where this kind of thing now is the norm. Nobody's shocked by it anymore, which is what's really crazy. Here they line up for water. I mean, just one after the other, giving them bottles of water. These are the NGOs. I mean, look who's handing out the water with his feather in his cap. I mean, go figure. You know who's behind all of this, okay? Now, in many respects, some of these people, I feel sorry for them. I really do. Look at the line to get water. It is amazing to me. But this is created all, of course, by Joe Biden. That is created by Mayorkis. That is created by Team Biden. And, of course, with George Soros and Barack Obama at the head of the top of the food chain there, calling the shots. Folks, it's scary stuff. We'll continue to cover it. We're going to have Matt Gaetz on the Real America's Voice show tonight. I urge you to tune into that, okay? That's 7 o'clock Eastern time on Real America's Voice. We're going to talk about Speaker Johnson, an important topic. So that on Real America's Voice. And again, I'm so grateful to all of you. Please spread the word on the podcast. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button wherever you are, and then share it so more people can see what we're doing here, and we can get this word out as we battle back against big tech, who really does everything in their power to suppress us. But if we do this in numbers, they can't stop us. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching. Stinchfield's Army rolls. Thanks to all of you, of course. We will see you back here tomorrow.